Here's a technique. Here's a tool for increasing ankle dorsiflexion. This is the ankle's ability to lift towards the shin. Ankle dorsiflexion is an important range of motion for everything from squats to lunges to descending stairs to hiking hills and everything in between. The more our ankles can dorsiflex, the more protected our knees are, the more range of motion my knees have to travel over my toes. For those of us who squat and can't seem to stay upright in the torso, the ankles are often the missing component, allowing those knees to travel forward and keep the torso upright. If you have tight hips in the squat or pinchy hips in the squat and can't seem to get that torso upright, this could be a component. A simple test, if you were to stick books underneath your heels or something to lift, and you find that you are now easily able to descend into the squat with an upright torso, chances are the ankle may be a limiting factor. And this is the exercise that will clean that up. So for this, what I'm looking to do is get 1 foot forward, my back leg is down. Here I'll be sitting down on my heel, just staying out of the way. If this is a challenge, you can always add a yoga block, and we can sit down on this. What we're looking to do is focus on this front leg, okay? So here I'm going to load a little weight into the heel, and I'm going to drive my knee as far over the toes as I can while maintaining contact and energy of that heel down into the ground, weight of that heel down into the ground. And I'm looking for a stretch through this tissue, through the back of calf tissue, okay? The next goal here, or the next step here, is just to sit and breathe into this stretch for 1.5 to 2 minutes, okay? Notes on form. As I find this stretch, knees over toes, if I stop here in the knee and then I can't get any further, but my hip is just swinging further and further to the outside, we've already gone too far, right? So we're going to as far as we can, knee over the top of the foot, without that hip kicking too far to the side, okay? We want to keep that stretch right here in the back of the Achilles. So here I am. I've got my stretch. Okay, I've held it for 1.5 to 2 minutes. Breathing. Next step I'm going to do, I'm going to take a breath in, and I'm going to start to build from 0 to about 30% of my maximum effort. So if 100% is the hardest I can imagine pushing, we're going to about 1/3 of that. And what I'm pushing is toes through the floor. If that floor were not there, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to gas pedal my foot through the floor. So all the stuff that is being stretched, all this tissue that is being stretched, I am slowly building a contraction into that tissue up to 30% of my maximum, trying to gas pedal my foot through the floor. So breath in, build up to 30%, and I'm going to have you hold that for about 30 seconds. It's going to burn maybe just a little bit. That's okay. We'll hold that contraction for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to have you ramp on down, okay? During that 30 seconds, big inhales, big exhales. Sit in that work. So here we are. We've held our 30 seconds. We've ramped back on down to 0, found the stretch. Now let's teach this tissue to produce a little bit more force. Big breath in. Hold on nice and tight. Start to gas pedal that foot through the floor. I'm going to have you build from 0 to 100% to your safest and greatest effort over the course of the next 10 seconds. So count to 10. By the time you reach 10, you're at 100%. You'll hold that 100% for the next 10 to 15 seconds. Breathing, holding that effort. After those 10 to 15 seconds, you're going to ramp back down. We're going to take the work out of this tissue, out of this back of Achilles tissue, and we're going to pass the work to the front of ankle stuff. Now I want you to start to pull the top of your foot up towards your shin It's not going to go anywhere, but we are going to feel a squeeze through the top of foot stuff, through the front of shin stuff. And we're going to use that squeeze to pull the knee deeper into this range of motion without losing contact of heel into ground. Knee pulls deeper, all this front of shin stuff squeezing. You're going to hold that for about 20 seconds, squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. At which point you will then ramp down, reestablish a new line of stretch through this back of Achilles stuff, the back of ankle stuff. Settle in. I want you to take 4 to 5 good breaths here. And then we're going to wash, rinse, repeat. Big breath in. Gas pedal down. Build to 100% over the course of 10 seconds. Building, building, turning that volume up smoothly and slowly. Hold for 10 to 15. Turn the volume back down on that effort. Take the work out of the Achilles stuff, the back of ankle stuff. Pass that work to the front of shin stuff. Try to get the top of the foot and the toes off the ground. Squeeze front of shin stuff. Pull your knee further forward. Try to touch it to the wall in front of you while maintaining weight of this heel down into the ground. Pull, 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 pull. 3, 2, 1. If this gets pinchy in the hips, or it's too challenging for the hips, one option that you can have is to use a chair. In this setup, I'm going to use the chair, and I can try to sit on the edge and drive some weight down to my heel and get that knee forward. Same concept, pushing foot through the floor, pulling up through the toes for the PAILs and rails, trying to get that knee a little bit further forward. Alternatively, I can try to pull through the top of the foot for the rails while sliding my heel as far back under the chair as I can, maintaining this contraction. Then I'll relax. That becomes my new position for stretch. Wash, rinse, repeat. A good thing to follow these up are some ankle cars. So once we've done that work, let's take it and tie it into the big picture. I'll have you lock that shin in. You can go 5 in each direction, nice slow circles. Really focus on this portion here, the top half of that circle, squeezing all that shin stuff, using the front of shin stuff to try to get a stretch through the back of the ankle stuff. Taking your time, keeping those circles smooth, a consistent speed, 5 in each direction. Other ways to further strengthen and groove this work. After we've opened up new range, let's do some more work to own it. The way this looks, I'm going to have you find a stretch for this Achilles, okay? Take a breath in, squeeze all the front of shin stuff, trying to get your foot up off the ground into your shin. It won't go anywhere just yet, but produce that squeeze. We're then going to rock on back, and we want those toes to come with us. The second that knee comes back, we want those toes to come with us. Hold, 2, 3, reset, 6 to 8 repetitions. If you find that there's a big gap, okay, that there's a big gap or a lag between that knee and that ankle, that the knee comes back, 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 no movement from the foot, no movement from the foot, then the toes come up. That lag is the gap between the range of motion that you have passively in this ankle and what you own actively. If you have tight calves or tight ankles, chances are that they could be weak, and that this is the tool that you're going to use to close the gap, again, between what you can access passively and what you actually own actively through that ankle. 3 sets of 6 to 8 will be a great place to start here. Again, rock forward, find a stretch, squeeze front of shin stuff, hold it as you rock back, trying to get that foot to come up the second the knee travels back. Keep squeezing as you reset. Here's your chance to relax. Take a breath in, and then go again for another repetition. Hold, 2, 3. Perhaps the shins are a little blasted, and they might need a rest before attempting this. But another great way to train the front of shin stuff is through anterior tibialis, the front tibial muscle here at the front of the shins. Anterior tibialis raises. For this, I'll have my butt against a wall, and I'll walk my feet away from that wall, keeping the knees straight. I like to rest my hands on my thighs. So here my torso is slightly leaned forward. And what I'll be doing is raising my feet towards my shins. Same muscles I was just accessing in that front of shin stuff on the ground. Raising my toes as hard as I can towards my shins with control and setting them back down. Here I'm going for 15 repetitions, 3 sets of 15. The further I set my heels away from the wall, the more of a challenge this is for my shins. Again, 3 sets of 15 is a good benchmark to be able to access, giving yourself about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes of rest in between. Give these a shot, see how they feel.